There we go. Live once again from Appalachian Bible College, the Mustang Sports Network brings you exclusive coverage of the 2018 WVCEA State Basketball Tournament. Earlier today, Morgantown was met with heartbreak as the Lady Mustangs fell at the hands of the Lions of Lewsburg. But now the men's team looks to avenge their fallen sisters as they face off against the same opponent. For the Mustangs, they saw a meteoric rise transpire last season as for the first time in school history, the Mustangs played for a state championship. The road back to the final game begins now against the team the Mustangs beat in this very tournament last season. But this year, the tides have turned, with Lewsburg getting the better of the Mustangs in both matchups this season. Led by guard Isaac Bean, the Lions have traveled into Beckley to claim what they believe is rightfully theirs. But Noah Karelko and a young cast of characters look to play upset here on this Appalachian Bible College floor. It's the Mustangs and the Lions, and it's coming up next here on the Mustang Sports Network. Hello and a warm welcome. We are still live from the campus of Appalachian Bible College. There was a girls' game that was played between the conclusion of the Mustangs girls' game, where unfortunately the ladies lost to Lewsburg by a final score of 48-36, but we are just moments away from varsity action as the Mustangs, who last season made it all the way to the state championship game, look to go on another tournament run, but this year they're a little bit underdogs. They come into this tournament the 6th seed as we get a look here at the boys brackets playing the Lewsburg game, and this is the first game of the session for varsity play to be played in the game. Of course, Beth Haven will play Pipestem, Victory will play Elk Valley, and Mercer will play Seneca Trail later tonight. A few moments ago, I sat down with varsity head coach Tim Linkus of Morgantown Christian Academy, and here's what he had to say.
Pregame coverage continues here on the Mustang Sports Network. I'm joined alongside Mustang boys varsity coach Tim Linkus. Coach, first things first, congratulations on making it this far to Beckley.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let's put this season in perspective for you. Obviously, the Mustangs reaching the pinnacle of their franchise, making it to the state championship game last year, and then having a lot of player turnover. We lost the 5 seniors. A lot of people kind of figured this season would be more of a rebuilding year, but yet here you are poised to potentially make another run at the state tournament. What has been the success for the turnaround this season?
Well, first of all, we lost 4 outstanding seniors last year. Going to miss them tremendously down here at the tournament. The leadership is completely a vacuum. But we have a couple kids that stepped up. The key to success for our team this year and in this tournament will be playing together cohesively. Fortunately, we have a couple good players, but they haven't played selfishly. They've actually played really, really well together, unselfishly, and when we play like that, we win.
Obviously, with those seniors, you graduated your 2 leading scorers from our last season, but obviously those have been replaced by 2 new scorers in Noah Karelko and Silas Beckner. How key has their offensive and defensive leadership been for this team?
It's invaluable for this team. Really, the offense is designed around those 2 players, but more importantly is those 2 players have played unselfishly, like I said before. So when they're covered, they're not shooting well, they're driving and dishing, and that's the key to our success.
Let's talk about this Lewsburg team. Obviously, both times you've matched up this season, it's gone the opposite way. They've been very close matchups in both cases, and you find yourself with a first-round draw of the team that you think is potentially beatable. But what is it that you've seen from this Lewsburg team that impresses you?
Well, Isaac is their leading scorer. Isaac tears us apart. He has slashes left, he slashes right, he gets to the hoop, he gets fouled. And when they collapse on him, he's throwing it out to a couple kids that can hit 3-pointers. And so we have a couple little tricks up our sleeve tonight, and we're hopeful that we can stop that. If we can't, we're going to lose. If we can't, we're going to win.
For people that out there might be unfamiliar with this Mustangs team, when you guys are functioning at your maximum capacity offensively and defensively, what's going well for this team?
Offensively, passing the ball, not shooting the first time down. If we get one rotation out, we get a layup. That's been successful to us. But when they don't do that and they're just open and shoot that first one, we're not getting rebounds. So when we rotate the ball on offense, that's successful. On defense, over the year, it was rough to begin with. We cannot play man. We just can't. We don't have the personnel to do it. So we're doing a mashup 2-3. It's been difficult to see that forward come out and rotate on the 3-point line. But over the last couple games, they got it. So I'm hopeful that matchup 2-3 will be the key to success.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for your time. I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
That was our varsity head coach, Tim Linkus. And pregame coverage continues on the Mustang Sports Network. Up next.
A lot to dissect there from head coach Tim Linkus. I apologize, we're having some technical difficulties with our camera, so I'll leave that shot of the varsity boys bracket up there. Like he said, a lot of things to look look for out of the Mustangs in this game. The last time these teams matched up, it was a thriller that ended in heartbreak in Morgantown. The Mustangs lost that game 57-52. The Mustangs had the lead at the end of the first quarter. It was 16-7, but then they were outscored 21-11 in the second half by Lewsburg, who took the lead at the end of the half and then basically kept that lead for the rest of the game, again winning 57-52. And a big reason of that was Isaac Bean, the man that head coach Tim Malinkus referenced in his pregame chat. It's going to be key to see what the Mustangs do to kind of control his tempo. And you heard the little side comment there, the bag of tricks that the Mustangs might go into, and I'm very curious to see what that may be for the Mustangs. We'll work on getting our camera back up for you, but we have about 2 minutes before the start of the game, so plenty of time to figure out what's going on there. The Mustangs, on the other hand, in that game, Noah Karelko finished with 15 points. Silas Beckner finished with 12. Harrison Linkus finished with 11. So it'll be key to see, the Mustangs having one of their more balanced scoring games as far as, things go for them offensively. Harrison Linkus also facilitated extremely well. A couple of nice no-look passes in the play of the game that stands out for me. And I mentioned this during the girls' game, kind of previewing this matchup, if you will, is Noah Karelko stepping into that long, that 28-foot three-pointer, that 28-foot three-point shot to make it a one-point game. It's one of the clutchest shots I've seen from a Mustang player, not just this season, but ever. So it's going to be interesting to see how head coach Tim Linkus relies on his veteran point guard. We got the visual element of our broadcast back with us. Sony Handycam was giving us a little bit of trouble here, but hopefully it's remain solid for us the rest of the game. We are just under a minute away from starting lineups and everything to be announced here at Appalachian Bible College. As I mentioned, the girls team lost earlier today, unfortunately, by a score of 48-36, a game that saw Megan Beckner leading all scorers for the Mustangs with 9, Jenna Phillips with 8, and a diverse array of other Mustang players scoring as well. Candace Bennett with 5, Carol Wolf with 4, Brianna Lemasters with 2, Brooklyn Bland with 3, Kaylee White with 2, and Autumn Barker with 3. Lewisburg, the Lions, as they advanced into the second round, a tremendous performance by 3 of their guards, and Madison Bruce, who finishes with 13 points, Emily Comer, who finished with 12, and Anna Barclay, who finished with 14 and was exceptional. Again, about 15 seconds away before the announcement of the starting lineups, most likely by Dr. Fisher of Appalachian Bible College here. This is a Lewisburg team that's a lot deeper than the Mustangs roster. You see the Mustangs really with only 7 players on their sideline. Lewisburg goes about 10 deep, and they're not afraid to really use the bottom of the barrel and scrape out whatever they can from all 10 players on the roster, and we'll see how that becomes a factor for the Mustangs if potentially Lewisburg could run them out of the game. We are just awaiting the starting lineups that are being handed to Dr. Fisher immediately to my left as we speak right now. Again, this Mustang team coming in as the 6th seed against the 3 seed Lewisburg. It was the same in the girls bracket. It is the same in the guys. Not 100% sure what the holdup here is. Tim Linkus made eye contact with Dr. Fisher, gave him the thumbs up, and Dr. Fisher walked away from him. So, and now the man will step to the podium himself, Dr. Fisher, to deliver you tonight's starting lineups.
Or perhaps in a moment while he's still writing them down. This game was scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, and those of you aware that it's 1:52 right now, and we've yet to tip away this game, and that's just kind of how things work here historically in the WVCEA state tournament. That last game of the session tonight scheduled for 6 o'clock, and in 6 years of coming down here as a varsity basketball player, I can't remember a single game that started earlier than 7 o'clock for that last session. The Lewisburg faithful is here. They're filling up the right side of the bleachers and making quite a lot of noise, and see how much of a factor that is. A little bit of a sparser Morgantown crowd, but to our credit, we have a longer way to travel, and here finally is Dr. Fisher.
Welcome to our 2019 Basketball Championship Series. This afternoon, our home team will be the Lewsiburg Baptist Academy, the Lions. And our visitors today from Morgantown, West Virginia, the Morgantown Christian Academy Mustangs. Would you all please stand? Let's go to the Lord in prayer. We'll get the lineup call. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for salvation in our lives. Thank you, Lord, for our Christian schools, and Lord, for the way that you have blessed us all across West Virginia. And Lord, today, we thank you for this basketball tournament, for the great time we've had today already, and for this afternoon, Lord, that you would watch over and bless this next game, these young ladies, these men as they play each other. Father, that you would give them skill, ability, and safety out there on the court. Watch over their coaches and give them wisdom as they lead their teams. Thank you for our officials today. Bless them, Lord. And I pray, Father, that all we do and say and the way we act today will bring glory to you. In Jesus' name, amen. The visitors today from Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mustangs are coached by Sam Lucas and Chris Keller. The starters for the Mustangs today. Senior. You all hear me? For Morgantown Christian Academy, the starters for today.
Come up on the stage. Come on the stage.
The starters again. Starters for Morgantown, West Virginia. Senior number 1, Samuel Wilson. Number 24, Jason Police. Number 5, Jonathan. Number 4 is Silas Beckman. Number 15 is Jonathan Engel. Number 11 is senior.
Well, we aren't the only ones experiencing technical difficulties as Dr. Fisher is wrestling with an unwilling microphone cable over there. A young fellow from Appalachian Bible College assisting him as well. But nonetheless, if you could hear, starting 5 for the Mustangs, usual suspects, Noah Karelko, the leading scorer, and one of the guards on this team, Silas Bechter, starting in a point forward position, the second leading scorer. Sam Wilson starts on the wing. His defensive speed will be much appreciated today. Harrison Linkus will run the point, and Jason Leach, the franchise, will man this team in the middle. The starting 5 for Lewsburg, Dakota Parker will run the point for them. Isaac Bean, again, he's the player to watch out for today. He's their leading scorer and has done a lot of damage to this Mustangs team. Yager Rollinson will get the start today, number 23. Impact this team in a variety of ways on the wing as well. Tyler Hinkle, number 24, and Kyle Thomas, the man in the middle. A significant height advantage for Lewsburg. Again, the Mustangs really only have one true center on the roster, and Jason Leach. And we're going to not have the starting lineups for Lewsburg Baptist. You hear the fans uproarious yelling in favor of their team. Now we're ready to tip this ball away. This is Yager Rollinson to tip the ball up against Silas Beckner. The Mustangs again have not beaten victory this season, but that's exactly what they look to do tonight. It's the Mustangs and the Lions. We're ready to tip things away here in Appalachian Bible College. It's up in the air, and it's won by Lewsburg. This is Dakota Parker. He'll settle into the point guard duties here early, and Lewsburg will work the ball around and try to score on the perimeter. Here's Isaac Bean. They have him in the corner. And a couple of players spotted up for three, and quickly we have a turnover. The Mustangs come up with a loose ball. They try to get it down low to Kyle Thomas. It was unsuccessful. Here's a look inside. Silas Beckner goes to the rim and draws the foul. Great look by Korelkum to get him the ball early, and we quickly have a foul on the other end, and we'll shoot free throws. That foul's going to go on Kyle Thomas. If you're looking up at the scoreboard, it looks like only a handful of seconds that eclipsed off the clock. Now they'll let a few more run off to catch up here as Silas Beckner sinks the first free throw. And just like that, the Mustangs jump out and score the first points of this game. Next shot up. Rolls in and out, pulled down by Rollinson, outletted up to Parker, and now we look and see what Lewis-Burg will do in transition. Mustangs had a matchup 2-3 that Coach Tim Link has talked about in the pregame show as Bean sends away a three from the corner. That's no good. Thankfully, he was unable to hit that shot. He was wide open, and now the Mustangs attack the other way. Here's Wilson. Gets it inside to Beckner. The Mustangs set up their offense. Korelko looks inside for Linkus. They have him off the ball. He had Leach on the backside, but he missed it, and then he dribbled. Tremendous ball pressure by Lewis-Burg, and now we see pressure from the Mustangs as they're going to extend a man pressure. This is dangerous. Again, this team only goes 7 guys deep, so they have to make sure they keep their legs out from under them as Lewis-Burg breaks the pressure, and now they set up their half-court offense. Here's Parker crossing over Wilson. Now pass to Rollinson, wide open for three, no good. An air ball rebounded by Korelko. He's got a head of steam in transition. Now he hands the ball off to Wilson. His baseline jump shot is good. Quickly, the Mustangs have the 3-0 advantage. Look at Bean breaking the double team by himself. He drives down the lane, and now he'll set up the offense for Lewis-Burg. Now Parker, now Rollinson, and now inside to Kyle Thomas. He goes to work on the low block, spinning in the lane, shot no good. And the rebound is off a Mustang player and out of bounds. Two players collided, and neither one of them came up with the ball, so a free possession now for Lewis-Burg. A minute and a half gone, 3-0 is our scores. They get it into Parker. You don't want to leave him open. And he misses that three, but Rollinson is there for the rebound. Now the ball's loose on the floor. It's stripped and taken away by Harrison Linkus. He's mauled by Bean. Bean comes up with the ball. And now he kicks to Parker. Now we have a foul underneath the basket. They're going to call that on Kyle Thomas. No, they're going to call it on Leach. He and Kyle Thomas were battling for positioning, and when the whistle was called, I saw Jason clap his hands as if the foul was on Thomas, but nonetheless, it goes on Jason Leach, just the first team foul for the Mustangs. Excellent pace of play to begin this game, but the score is still 3-0. Now Parker works the ball in for Lewis-Burg. Pass to Rollinson inside to Thomas. He's double teamed, but it doesn't matter. He spins, but his shot's no good. Rebounded by Jason Leach. Here comes Korelko all the way down the lane. Splits the defenders, puts it in. 5-0 our score early. The Mustangs have jumped out of Lewis-Burg, and there's Bean turning the ball over, taken away by Korelko. He's contested at the rim by Parker. He goes up with the shot. Yes, sir. Noah Korelko makes it 7-0. Jeff Mathis wants a timeout, or Jason Mathis, I should say, and he's going to get it. 7-0. The Mustangs have run out on Lewis-Burg, and look at them come back to the huddle. They're fired up, and they have the 7-point advantage. 4 points coming by Korelko, a point by Silas Beckner, and 2 by Sam Wilson. The Mustangs scoring at will against this Lewis-Burg team, but keep in mind, this is the way the game started when these two teams played in Morgantown. The Mustangs ended the quarter up 16-7, but it was all Lewis-Burg after that, so it'll be key not only for the Mustangs to jump out to this quick start, but to build on what they've started and continue to defend their lead. That was a 30-second timeout called by Jason Mathis. He's going to try to set up some kind of press break, I am sure. Oh, now the Mustangs, interesting coaching decision and a smart one, if you ask me, by Coach Linkus. You set up for the press break and then you take it off, and now you just try to hold on to your 7-point advantage. 5:45 remaining here in the opening frame. Here's Bean out of the left corner. They work the ball around. Now Rollinson attacks. He's got a lane to the basket. He fades away. That shot no good. Rebounded by Karelko. Here he goes in transition again. We'll see if they try to stop him. Shovel pass to Silas Beckner. He tried to get it back to Karelko. The ball's loose on the floor. Silas Beckner gets it back and he's fouled. Tyler Hinkle rolled over on top of him, and he's going to pick up his first foul. That's going to prompt a substitution quickly. Rollinson will come out of the game. He's replaced by Logan Toothman. Logan Toothman, you may remember, hit a couple of three-pointers early for this Lewsburg team when these two teams met in Morgantown. Here's a deflected pass, and quickly back the other way comes Lewsburg. Isaac Bean attacking the right-handed shot is no good, but Harrison Linkus bumped him, I guess, with the lower body, and that foul's going to be called on him. So now Lewsburg will have a chance to convert on their first points of the game. As I was mentioning, Logan Toothman was a tremendous spot-up shooter for this Lewsburg team. And make sure that the Mustangs close out on him appropriately. Bean's first free throw got it to go. First points for him, first points for Lewsburg. We have another substitution as Alex Duncan will check into the game. As the Lions will size down a little bit, they'll take their true center out of the game and replace him with Duncan to give up a little bit of height but pick up a little bit of quickness. Next shot by Bean, no good off that guy, and that ball is pulled down by Silas Beckner, and back the other way come the Mustangs. Now we'll see the Mustangs probably for the first time in this game get into their half-court offense. Here's Wilson inside to Silas Beckner. He gets in the lane. Now gives it out to Harrison Linkus, penetrates all the way. Now Jason Leach takes it in, shot with the left hand, no good off the backboard. Rebounded by Duncan, but torn away by Harrison Linkus, and a jump ball is called. That possession will go to the Mustangs. Three minutes gone here in the first quarter. The Mustangs inbound the ball underneath their own basket. They get it into Leach, now into the corner, Sam Wilson. Now inside Harrison Linkus, he's double teamed, and now they'll set up the offense. Harrison Linkus passes to Sam Wilson. He's wide open from 18. Yes! Wilson sticks it home, make it 9-1 now. Mustangs finding early holes in this Lewsburg Baptist defense, and here's the ball. Saved in bounds, but turned over. Here comes Harrison Linkus in transition. He's double teamed, goes up with the shot. Oh, they're going to say that it was on the floor, that foul, before the shot went in. It's going to go on Alex Duncan. Tremendous transition attack by the Mustangs. And that's led to this 9-1 advantage. They inbound the ball. Linkus gets it into Jason Leach. Now up top, they'll set up their offense. Well, Sam Wilson threw the ball away. Back up the other way comes Bean. He draws the contact and one. Isaac Bean drew the contact and shielded the defender away from the ball with his body, and he'll get an and one opportunity. He has all three of Lewsburg's points to begin this game. That shot no good. The rebound in the hands of Duncan, and there's a foul called. I believe that's going to go against the Mustangs. That's going to go on Jason Leach's second foul. You might remember the last time these teams matched up, Jason Leach got in early foul trouble, and as a result of that, the Mustangs suffered inside, especially with the length of Tyler Hinkle and Kyle Thomas, so eerily similar to how the game started the first time these teams met. Here's Parker. He steps into a long three. That's no good. Rebounded by Karelko, and he looks to push in transition. He gets a screen from Beckner in the backcourt. That frees him up. Here's Beckner out of the left corner. Yes, sir. Silas Beckner now with three. The Mustangs now with 11. 4 minutes gone. They lead by 8. Here's Parker now, looking for something to develop away from the ball. He gives it to Bean. Bean against this 2-3. He drives into the double team, but he gets around the defenders and draws the foul. That's going to go against David Kelly. This is my first exposure to the new road uniforms that the Mustangs have bought this season. As Bean remains to be the only Lewsburg Baptist player who scored in this game. I'm quite a fan of the black jerseys with the white trim and the gold numbers. Bean sticks the second one through. He now has 5, and now Lewsburg's trying to set up some pressure, but Karelko breaks it by himself. Here's Wilson. He's feeling it from mid-range. He takes another, but this one's no good. Silas Beckner got his hand on the rebound, but they're going to say it goes to Lewsburg. Again, great pace of play and just great action all around to begin this game. Here's Parker out of the far side, toothing it back to Parker against this 2-3 zone. The Mustangs not closing out incredibly far on these shooters as this ball goes into the backcourt through the hands of Dakota Parker. A mental mistake there by Lewsburg, and head coach Jason Mathis is not happy with that. So a free possession goes the other way now. The Mustangs looking to extend their lead. Here's Karelko. He drives, gives it to David Kelly, who draws the foul. And that's what you need to do if you're Karelko. He drove in and drew the double team, even a triple team there, and found Kelly wide open. Kelly will go to the free throw line. Gets the first to go. David Kelly, one of the seniors on this team. The other being Sam Wilson. We've mentioned this before in broadcast. The free throw shooting of David Kelly's greatly improved. As I say that, he misses the next one, but through his career at MCA, we've seen him really develop into a nice player and a key piece for this team as they look to make a tournament run. The other end, here's Parker from mid-range. That's no good. Rebounded by Harrison Linkus. Now Linkus takes it down the floor himself. He draws the contact and one! Yes, sir, Harrison Linkus. You give them that kind of space and you're going to pay, and now the Mustangs are on the verge from extending their lead to double digits, and that prompts the substitution as Rollinson comes back into the game. He's going to replace Dakota Parker. And the free throw up and no good by Harrison Linkus. I was just alerted by the scorekeeper to my left as we have another turnover. The Mustangs come up with a loose ball, but Tyler Hinkle has 3 fouls. Active hands, both ends of the floor. But more loose balls going in favor of the Mustangs. Here's Karelko looking for Kelly again. This time Kelly is knocked down, and they're going to say the ball didn't touch a Lewsburg player, and it'll go back to the Lions. Again, only 5 points for them, all 5 of those being scored by Isaac Bean. Now there's Toothman, now Bean with the ball. Now he looks to Rollinson, back up top. Bean had a 3, but now he thinks twice about it. Back to Rollinson. He steps into a mid-range jumper, puts it through. Jagger Rollinson, the first non-Bean player to score for Lewsburg, and 14-7 is now the score. Here's Silas Beckner out of the high post, gets all the way to the rim, gets it to go off glass. 16-7 now the score. Here's Bean attacking all by himself. He passes to Duncan, who was wide open. He caught the Mustangs napping in transition there and made them pay. Here's Harrison Linkus attacking now, dropping the ball off. Here's Wilson, who's feeling it earlier, but that shot's no good. Now Bean looks to press and transition again. The Mustangs finally turn around and see him as he fires a wild shot that's no good. Back the other way comes Noah Karelko in transition. Duncan on him. And one! Noah Karelko all the way to the rim. Score the field goal. Duncan brought that right forearm right across the body of Noah Karelko. That was obviously a foul, and in that situation, if you're going to drop the contact on the player, you might as well make sure that he's not going to put the shot up in the air, and Duncan was unable to do that, and that results in an and one opportunity. And pending these free throws from Karelko, the Mustangs lead stays at 9. Back the other way comes Bean. He's pushed it the last couple of possessions. Harrison Linkus almost picked his pocket, but a foul is called instead, and that's the second foul on Harrison Linkus. Here's a shot immediately put up by Henkel. That's no good, but Toothman pulls down the rebound back to Bean. Wide open for three. Hits both sides of the rim and comes out. The rebound is loose, pulled down by Hinkle. His shot no good, and now the Mustangs come up with the ball. Noah Karelko, a 3-on-2, takes it himself, draws the contact, no call, it's sent away. That shot was blocked. Now Harrison Linkus, he penetrates, gets past the defense. That shot no good. Silas Beckner gets the offensive rebound, looks for Karelko, he misses the shot. Here's Duncan up ahead, but that pass is tipped, stolen away. Noah Karelko again coming up with the loose ball. Just over a minute to be played here in the first quarter. 18-9 our score. Here's Sam Wilson getting the ball into David Kelly. His hook shot in the lane, no good off the front of the rim. Just under a minute now to be played. Now Lewsburg will slow down the offense. They'll work the ball around. Here's Toothman. They look to swing it. Bean sends away a three. Straight on, no good. Rebounded by Kelly. Into the hands of Harrison Linkus, and he's got a lane to the basket. He takes it all the way. No good. Into the hands now of Isaac Bean. We'll see now if Lewsburg will hold for the last shot as Bean looks to set up this offense. Here's Hinkle in the left corner. Now swung up top to Bean. Now to Rollinson, wide open from mid-range. You don't want that, but he misses the shot. Pulled down by Silas Beckner. The Mustangs have 10 seconds on the clock. Beckner picks up his dribble, set up the offense. We'll see if they can generate something quick. An 18-footer by Harrison Linkus. An air ball. Silas Beckner tried to save it in bounds, but he was already out of bounds. That ball's going to go back to Lewsburg. 1.7 seconds to see if they heave it into the front court. Well, Silas Beckner is going to stop the game so he can tie his shoe. That's not necessarily the worst thing because now the Mustangs are going to match up man, make sure that an easy lob pass across midcourt is not thrown. Coach Linkus imploring his guys not to foul. They get it in. Here's Toothman with a second. He heaves it from midcourt, way off. Your score after one. The Mustangs have come out firing on all cylinders here. 18-9 is your score. Noah Karelko with 6 points, Silas Beckner with 5, Sam Wilson with 4, Harrison Linkus with 2, David Kelly with a lone free throw, Isaac Bean doing the majority of the damage for Lewsburg. He has 5, Jagger Rollinson has 2, and Alex Duncan with 2 points to his credit as well. As I mentioned at the start of this game, this is the first game of the varsity boys session to be played. The next one, I believe, I'll pull up the schedule here, should be Bethaven and Pipeston. Bethaven coming in as the 2 seed. Kind of a surprise this season for what they've been able to do in the WVCEA. Yes, that game will be next, followed by Victory in Elk Valley. That's going to be a very interesting matchup for those teams there, the 4 and the 5 seed, and of course the perennial champions. Mercer will play against the Trailblazers of Seneca Trail tonight. That game was scheduled for 6 o'clock, but at the same time, this game was scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, and those of you joining us know that that is definitely not the case for this game as things have fallen behind here just a tad at the WVCEA tournament. Lewsburg coach Jason Mathis directly to my right is doing what he can to make adjustments to get his team woken up offensively in this game. Head coach Tim Linkus to my left. He's talking about what the Mustangs are doing well and what they need to continue to do well to build this lead on Lewsburg. It's Lewsburg ball to begin the second quarter. Kyle Thomas checked back into the game in the middle. We'll see if he'll go at Jason Leach with his 2 fouls. Here's Toothman wide open for 3. You don't want that. That shot's missed. Duncan had the rebound. Well, they're going to call a foul on him on the baseline. I thought for a second he stepped out of bounds, but they're going to say he was pushed by Harrison Linkus, and that's the 3rd foul on Harrison Linkus. Wow. That's going to prompt a substitution for head coach Tim Linkus to take his youngest son out of the game. He'll be replaced by J.J. Fout. J.J. Fout has really developed as a player this season. You know, he didn't contribute as much last season. This year he's become a 6th or a 7th man on this team, a secondary ball handler. He's seen him hit some shots from mid-range, so a very capable piece for Tim Linkus. We'll look to see how he impacts the game now as Duncan's 1-and-1 is no good. Rebounded by Jason Leach, and he's fouled immediately. That foul goes on Rollinson. And that's a 1-and-1 the other way for the Mustangs. Should be Jason Leach shooting the free throws. It is. Jason Leach is yet to score in this game. And he'll get 2 here. That shot no good, but the rebound is pulled down by Noah Karelko in the far corner. The Mustangs will set up their offense. Wilson gets the ball in to Leach. He's triple teamed. He passes out of it. J.J. Fout saved it in bounds, but it's taken away by Lewsburg, and here they come the other way. J.J. Fout, excellent defense to stop Parker there. Take away his momentum and the transition game. Here's Parker fading away. That should be a travel, it's called, yes. Parker was kind of caught in no man's land there. He picked up his dribble, and he spun and tried to throw up the shot, and Hinkle's going to come back into the game. He's got 3 fouls. He's going to replace Parker. Obviously, head coach Jason Mathis not happy with the play there by Parker. And the Mustangs have the ball back, up 9 with just over 7 minutes to be played here in the second quarter. Noah Karelko crosses over on Bean, gets down the lane, gets to the basket. The shot no good off the rim. Outletted up ahead to Bean, and here comes Lewsburg. They've got a 3-on-3. Bean to Toothman, back to Bean, and now they'll set up their half-court offense. Looking for a screen, an interesting offense to be running, setting screens against this zone defense that the Mustangs are playing, but nonetheless, Kyle Thomas keeps running into the high post to setting screens on whoever's pressuring the ball at any given time. Here's Duncan, now to Hinkle. Thomas up top, he gets down the lane. They wanted a walk, it's not called, but the shot's no good. Outletted up ahead to Sam Wilson. Now the Mustangs will set up their offense. 6.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Neither team has scored here in the second quarter. Here's Silas Beckner driving the baseline. Reverse layup, good. Silas Beckner now has 7. He's going to work down there. The post technician. And it's an 11-point lead for the Mustangs. They get it into Thomas. Now to Hinkle, his 15-footer. No good. The rebound is pulled in by Jason Leach and deflected out of his hands. It'll stay with the Mustangs. Karelko now brings the ball up the floor for the Mustangs. Playing a little ISO ball here. They get the ball across to Sam Wilson. I was watching to see what head coach Tim Linkus would do there as this ball is thrown away, but Isaac Bean is unable to come up with it. I thought they were going to isolate Noah Karelko on Bean there as he completely spread the floor, as Jason Leach will stop to tie his shoe. So I'm curious to see what the Mustangs' plan is offensively. Obviously, that killed a lot of time. Now they'll get the ball into Sam Wilson. It's kind of a pack line defense for Lewsburg, all except Isaac Bean, who's face guarding Noah Karelko. They're trying to set some screens to get Karelko free, and now they won't bother. Well, they get the ball back to Wilson, and now into the high post. It's a kick ball there by Toothman. You know, if you're head coach Tim Linkus, just like Jason Mathis in the girls' game before this, you don't mind if they're going to let you chew tremendous amounts of clock off. And speaking of, that clock had not started there when the ball was inbounded. It stays at 5:20. The Mustangs lead by 11. And they get the ball in now to Karelko with Bean on him. And they're going to spread the floor for him. Now they get it to Sam Wilson. He puts the ball on the floor. He's taking his time, looking for something to develop away from the ball. He had a screen, but now he gives the ball up to Karelko. They're looking for Karelko to beat Bean off the dribble, but Karelko's looking for the lane that he wants before he'll take it to the rim. Here's Beckner now. He's going to isolate on Duncan. The Mustangs completely spread. The middle is wide open, save Jason Leach, who just cut across the middle, and now they get it into Karelko. He drives the baseline. He draws the contact. The shot's not called, but he gets his own, or the foul's not called, but he gets his own miss. He'll set up the offense again. Why not? Take as much time as you need if you're the Mustangs here. 11 points is their lead. Karelko with Bean still on him. Gets a screen from Beckner. Gives it back to Beckner, who didn't roll. And now they'll settle it up again, so tremendous pace of play in this game in the first quarter is completely stalled as these teams are both taking longer possessions, especially the Mustangs. These possessions have turned out to be incredibly long. And there is no shot clock in Christian school, high school basketball. Here's Karelko, isolates on Bean again. Again, the floor is spread completely wide open for him. Whenever he decides he wants to take Bean off the dribble, he's yet to. They get it over to Silas, and he's fouled. A tremendous possession there. The Mustangs killed an unbelievable amount of clock, and then they pick up the foul. That's Alex Duncan. That's his second. So you kill, say, a minute of clock, and now you get free throws out of it. And Silas Beckner will be the one to shoot it. He leads all scorers with his 7 points. He's got 7 of the Mustangs' 20. But he misses the first end of the 1-and-1. That's something you're going to need to do down the stretch here for the Mustangs. They've struggled to shoot their free throws all season, and hopefully that doesn't become a problem now. Back the other way comes Lewsburg, finally getting in possession after a tremendous amount of clock was killed by the Mustangs. Here's Hinkle. That ball goes, it's through his fingertips. That's twice now we've seen Lewsburg Baptist players' passes have slipped through their fingertips and gone out of bounds. It happened to Parker, it went into the backcourt, and there it happened to Hinkle, it went out of bounds, and now we have another possession for the Mustangs to set up their wacky offense here. Here's Karelko looking to take Bean off the dribble. Bean looking for a 5-second call. It's not called. Here's Silas Beckner, 18 feet away from the basket. Now to Wilson. He has a 3. He thought twice about it. Now they give it to Karelko. He pump fakes. He gets down the lane, puts up the floater, score it! 8 points for Karelko, 22 for the Mustangs. That's going to prompt a timeout from Jason Mathis. To be quite frank, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure he knows what to make of this Mustangs offense. The Mustangs have extended their lead 22-9. They've scored the only 4 points. Only 4 points have been scored in this second quarter, all of which have been scored by the Mustangs. And this game is halted to a stop at 22-9. If you're the Mustangs, you love it. You keep the lead. If you're Lewsburg, you're not sure what to do. So now Jeff Mathis, he has to decide what he's going to do with this pressure and how he's going to address what the Mustangs are doing, which is spacing the floor and getting great looks at the rim. And that was a fantastic possession a couple of possessions ago by the Mustangs. They killed over a minute. You know, coaches always say you only settle for good shots. The Mustangs didn't get a good shot, so they didn't settle. They just kept working the ball around and finally drew the foul. And we have an announcement here by a Appalachian Bible College young man talking about snow cones and coffee and all kinds of delicious goodies that we can enjoy here on the campus of Appalachian Bible College, but you, the folks at home, cannot, and I apologize for that. This game brought to you by the Appalachian Bible College concession stand. Only location immediately to the right of our broadcast position. And now Lewsburg with possession. Just under 3 minutes to be played. Here's Bean. Had a 3. And now he picks up his dribble and he needs somebody to come get the ball from him, and Toothman does. Give it back to Bean. The Mustangs hunkered down in their 2-3 zone with Jason Leach working on Tymus. Here's Bean all the way to the rim. Score it. That's a quick possession and a quick 2 points for Isaac Bean. He's dangerous, especially with Thomas in there setting him screens in the middle. The Mustangs go spread now. Here's a Beckner screen, and you see Thomas playing off his man. Oh, they had Jason Leach wide open. Now they get it to him. That ball is deflected by Hinkle, and now tipped out of bounds. It should go to the Mustangs. Now they're going to say it stayed with Lewsburg. My apologies. What I was saying was Kyle Thomas isn't playing right on Silas Beckner. He's playing kind of a help role to double Noah Karelko off of their screens. So we'll see how the Mustangs address that if they decide or elect Silas Beckner to kind of pick and pop and hit a couple of 15-footers. Here's Bean. He's got 2 defenders close to him, and J.J. Fountain, Sam Wilson. Now they get the ball into Kyle Thomas on Jason Leach. He draws the foul. No, they're going to call it a walk. Kyle Thomas shuffled the feet. He doesn't believe it, but the whistle stands, and 22-11 is the score with 2:11 to be played. Jason Mathis looking for an explanation there. He doesn't get one. Now Karelko will slowly advance the ball. Pass it down to the corner. This is J.J. Fout. He threw the ball away. Bean comes up with a loose ball, and you've got to stop him. He's got numbers. He attacks at Wilson. He draws the contact. That shot no good. The rebound pulled in by Hinkle. His follow no good. That ball loose. Hinkle tried to save it. It should go to the Mustang. No, they're going to say, well, Hinkle had the ball when he fell out of bounds, but they're going to say the ball bounced before Hinkle regained possession out of bounds. So the ball stays with Lewsburg. We have head coach Jason Mathis asking a couple of questions here as they're going to take Tyler Hinkle out of the game. He's a little shaken up. Dakota Parker will come back in. So again, Lewsburg sizing down as they bring in an extra guard. They get the ball into Dakota Parker. 1:48 remaining here in the second quarter. Here's Bean. Now to Duncan in the corner. Back up top to Bean. He jab steps. Now gets it back to Duncan. They get it inside. Kyle Thomas wide open. 2 points for him. Kyle Thomas established positioning on the low block and got an easy 2 there. This lead is back down to 9. Here's Korelko off the screen. Gets it inside. Silas Beckner wide open to the rim. His shot up good off glass. 9 points for him. Silas Beckner. And Noah Korelko putting on the clinic here. A nice two-man game. Back the other way because Hinkle Hero steps. Fires the ball up wildly. He threw it out of bounds. I apologize. Bean is knocked down hard. He's slow to get up. They're going to say no foul was called. And the ball will go back to the Mustangs with just over a minute to be played. 24-13 our score. Korelko lobs the cross-court pass to J.J. Fout now into the corner. Jason Leach, he drives the baseline. He picks up his dribble. Gives it to J.J. Fout from 15 feet away. No good off the backboard. Rebounded by Kyle Thomas. Outlet it up to Bean. He's got a one-on-one on Fout. He takes it to the rim. The foul is called. He hit the shot. We're going to say whether or not that's on the floor or if that's an and one. Well, they're going to say the basket counts. A continuation play. They're going to call that foul on Silas Beckner. J.J. Fout was in front of him. Silas Beckner was behind him. Bean picked up this dribble and Euro stepped and drew the contact. So 24-15 now our score. 50 seconds remaining. Pending this free throw by Isaac Bean. And he misses the free throw. It's rebounded by Korelko. Let's see what the Mustangs do here with 45 seconds left. They can elect to hold for the last shot. Here's Beckner. He's taking his time. Duncan closes out on him. He gets the ball across to Sam Wilson. Now to the corner, J.J. Fout. He looked inside for Jason Leach, but he threw the ball away. Here comes Bean the other way in transition with a whole head of steam. And he draws the contact from Silas Beckner, who tried to draw the charge, but they're going to call a blocking foul. The shot did not go, but Bean's going to have 2 free throws. Bean will go back to the free throw line. Head coach Tim Linkus having a discussion with the official here as to why that was not called an offensive foul. And Bean hits the first free throw. Isaac Bean, tremendous force for this Lewsburg team. He's got 10 of their 12 points here. 10 of their 16 points here in the first half. 24-16 our score, 26 seconds remaining. The next free throw is no good off the front of the rim, but Alex Duncan comes up with a loose ball. He fires a shot that's blocked by Beckner, but they're going to call a foul. He was met at the top of his jump. Silas Beckner sent that shot away. Obviously 2 different reactions here from the crowd. Lewsburg loving it as Silas Beckner picks up his second foul, and Alex Duncan will get 2 free throws. On the other side, the Morgantown fans were looking for a clean block there. Duncan misses the first free throw, so the lead stays at 8 for the Mustangs. 24-16 our score, 24 seconds remaining. Next shot up by Duncan, he drains it. 3 points for him now. The Mustangs get the ball into Sam Wilson. 20 seconds to go here in the quarter. Wilson hands off to Korelko, 18 seconds. Bean closes out on him. 15 seconds now on the clock. We'll see what Korelko does. He steps back. He's outside the three-point line. Now he's double-teamed. 8 seconds. He drives down the lane. He passes the backside. Jason Leach is fouled. 2 free throws coming up for Jason Leach. You can see this Lewsburg defense is scared to death of Noah Korelko. Every time he brings the ball in the paint, they send 3 defenders at him. As a result of that, Jason Leach was wide open on the opposite block, and he drew the foul. And the first free throw by Jason Leach is no good. Still scoreless in this game. And the next free throw put up and in. Jason Leach gets his first points of the game, back to an 8-point lead. The Mustangs now extending a full court man defense. And now Bean struggling to get the ball across. He sends away a shot. That's no good at the buzzer. 25-17 is our score to end the half. The Mustangs being outscored in the corner by just a single point. And they'll take that if you're head coach Tim Lekas, because the lead remains at 8 points. Look at the stats now. Karelko finishes the half with 8 points. Silas Beckner to lead Mustang scores, to lead just the Mustang scores with 9 points. Sam Wilson with 4. Harrison Link has had a field goal early in this game. Jason Leach and David Kelly both have a free throw made. On the other side for Lewisburg, Alex Duncan has 3. Jagger Rollinson with 2, and Kyle Thomas with 2, and Isaac Bean being the focal point of this Lewisburg offense. He has 12 points in the first half, so it'll be interesting to see what adjustments the Mustangs do as they look to contain him. The halftime clock has not started. They're getting 10 minutes, but an extended period of time because the Appalachian Bible College official directly to my left, well, now he finally starts the clock, and that is underway. For those of you who don't know, the Lady Mustangs played their tournament game today, losing to this same Lewisburg team, the Lady Lions, by a score of 48-36. Lewisburg will advance to play Elk Valley. That game will be tomorrow, and then Victory defeating Seneca Trail to play Mercer, the 1 seed. And then, of course, those 2 winners will advance, and there'll be a consolation game as well. And on the boys' side of things, really not a lot to report for you there. This is the first game of the session. I've mentioned that before. After this game, we'll see Beth Haven take on Pipestem, the 2 seed, against the 7 seed. Beth Haven is warming up in front of me right now. I got to be honest with you. Beth Haven wasn't a team that I was familiar with playing here. They never really had a lot of greater teams. They're usually a lower seed, a first-round exit. They've snuck up and grabbed a 2 seed here, and I can see why as I'm watching their players warm up and shoot around on the floor. There's a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, frankly, a lot of bodies. There's at least 13 or 14 players out there for this Beth Haven team. The flip side of that, Pipestem is a familiar opponent for the Mustangs. A little bit of a leaner year for the Panthers. And their head coach, Dallas Payton, the Mustangs defeated them at home. They're relying a lot on the play of their freshman and sophomore players, so potentially a team that we'll see make an impact in the future here in the WVCEA. You see Victory will square off against Elk Valley, both familiar opponents of the Mustangs, both teams that have beaten the Mustangs this season. Victory, obviously, always a tremendous program here in the WVCEA. And Elk Valley stepping up to grab the 5 seed. That's a little bit higher than we're used to seeing them, but it's been a fantastic season for them this year. And then, of course, the nightcap game, Seneca Trail against Mercer. Seneca Trail graduating a lot of players from last season. They still managed to get into the tournament as the 8th seed. And, of course, Mercer, the defending champs, and I know that all too well. It was my Morgantown Christian Academy team that lost in the state championship game last year to that exact same Mercer team. And if I'm correct, I don't believe they graduated any players from that team. So they're still dominant. Mercer Cavaliers, I believe their mascot is. They shoot the 3 very well. They move the ball extremely well. They get play in the low post. They're a very, very balanced team, and definitely the favorites to win it all again this year. Again, as customary in the WVCEA, they try to get these games moving along quickly. They only give you 15 minutes between games to warm up, but they allow the teams to come out onto the floor. At halftime, the teams that will play next are warming up right now. Pipestem adorned in their black uniforms to my right, and Beth Haven and the white unis with the warm-ups. Interesting warm-ups. They've got tank tops on with hoods on the back of them. I'm not sure how I feel about that look, but yeah, to each their own, I guess. The Hornets of Beth Haven. Well, for the Mustangs, they've done everything they needed to. They've gotten play out of their two best players in Noah Karelko and Silas Beckner. They've got excellent defensive pressure from Sam Wilson. Harrison Linkus has been a tremendous facilitator. Jason Leach is holding his own in the middle. J.J. Fouts come off the bench, and he's done a lot of things well for this team. He doesn't have any points to show for it, but he's moving the ball very well. He's had some excellent defense in transition to cut off these Lewsburg players as they go downhill to the rim. And of course, David Kelly, who gave Jason Leach a spell early when he got into early foul trouble, and he hit that free throw. The other side of things, I mean, for Lewsburg, the last time we saw these two teams match up, it was, Logan Toothman did extremely well for this team with his 13 points. Isaac Bean went off with 23, and it's interesting. There's two different schools of thought when addressing a player like Isaac Bean. You can either do what you can to limit him because, again, he's the focal point, the do-everything guy for this Lewsburg Baptist squad. You can try to do what you can to limit him, or you can, just assume that he's a great player and he's going to get his 18 to 20 points a game. So what we can do as a team is limit the players around him, and that's kind of what the Mustangs have done. Isaac Bean excelling with his 12 points, but he's not getting a lot of help. 5 points combined, for this Lewsburg team. So the key for them will be to try to develop some kind of a secondary option coming out of the half. And for the Mustangs, it'll be to continue to limit that option. Well, now the Mustangs have come back onto the floor, getting handshakes from their fellow WVCEA conference brethren in the Pipestem Panthers and Beth Haven, as well as the teams retreat to their various locker rooms. Another point of note, middle schooler Coleman Spicer is kind of a reward for what he's been doing for this Mustangs roster this year. Head coach Tim Linkus called them up early in the season, frankly, because they just needed another body. They only had 7 guys, and it's very difficult to just have, occasionally you need a guy where you need to plug him in and play, and Coleman Spicer stepped into that role. Only a middle schooler again, and because of that, he's traveled with the team down to Beckley. He is in uniform. And hopefully the Mustangs can extend their lead to an extent to where we get to see the middle schooler Coleman Spicer come in. He's hit a couple of threes for this team this season. And he's actually done surprisingly well defensively. I hate to say surprisingly well. He's a very small individual, but he's applied tremendous pressure when he's been in the game for the Mustangs. And now you see the players out warming up for the Mustangs. Jason Leach shooting free throws. You better work on those, son. Rocking the number 24, my number from a couple of seasons ago. And if I were to pick any individual to carry off the torch of the 24, I'd give it to Jason Leach. He's a tremendous individual, a great player. He's a great effort guy. I really like what he does for this team, kind of accepting the role as a secondary player and doing what he can to will this team to success. Lewsburg has come out of the locker room as well, and I hate to say it, but they look extremely downtrodden. There isn't a single player shooting on their end of the floor. They're all sitting on the bench. I see hands on hips. I see heads down. Very interesting body language between these two teams. You saw the Mustangs go into the locker room at halftime, fired up for the opposite for Lewsburg, and you kind of wonder if they're a little nervous. They're kind of on upset watch here in the WVCEA tournament. Folks may remember last season, my senior year, we played Lewsburg in the first round. We were the 2 seed back then. They were the 7 seed. We ended up beating them, of course, in our run to the state championship game, but it was a very well-played game, and this is basically the same roster from a season ago for Lewsburg. So you get to see how they've matured over the course of a year. Just over a minute to
I'm sorry, just over a minute left as we are about to get underway with third quarter action here in Appalachian Bible College. Kind of a little bit of a mellow atmosphere with the Victory game that was played just before us. Of course, Victory being located just down the road. They brought a couple of hundred people here. And they were making a tremendous amount of noise here, as they tend to do. Assistant coach Chris Kelly walked up to me with the jersey. He said, "You want to come put this on and come play?" I said, "Absolutely." So maybe I'll just set the headset down and go jump into this game, be the Mustangs' ninth man. We're getting sorted out who's going to have possession here to begin the second half. It should be the Mustangs dressed in their black uniforms as they lead 25-17 against the Lewsburg Lions. And we're about to get this third quarter underway as Noah Karolko gets the inbounds pass from Harrison Linkus. Lewsburg still going in that man defense. Here's Silas Beckner. He gets it into Karolko. He crosses over, gets it to Sam Wilson. Now to Harrison Linkus. A Euro step to get around the defender and get it up off the glass. You better watch out if you're Lewsburg. You don't want Harrison Linkus to wake up and join the tremendous scoring so far of Noah Karolko and Silas Beckner. That gives the Mustangs a lot of weapons offensively, and now their lead is 10. Here's Rollinson. Now Parker penetrating back to Rollinson as Lewsburg is struggling to find a hole in this defense. They get it inside to Thomas. He spins on the block on Leach. That shot no good. Rebounded by Noah Karolko. Karolko had a look there in transition, and now he turns the ball over. He tried to throw the pass and then retrieve it and put the ball on the floor again, and that's a double dribble. Now the other way, here comes Dakota Parker. Now to Rollinson on the left side, and they work the ball around. Here's Bean trying to get between two defenders. A wild shot off glass, he got it. We're getting used to those athletic finishes there by Bean. It was a circus shot there put in by him, and now we see a nice crossover by Karolko. Oh my, Sam Wilson had him wide open and didn't realize it. There's a pass tipped and stolen away by Bean. You have to cut him off to get to the basket. He changes hands, draws the contact, the shot no good. Excellent defense in transition by the Mustangs. And here comes Harrison Linkus down the floor. Drop pass for Karolko. The Mustangs set up what they want to do offensively. They get it in. Harrison Linkus. Now Sam Wilson, an 18-footer, no good. Rebounded by Kyle Thomas, and here's one-on-one. Isaac Bean on Harrison Linkus. Great body control there by Bean to get the shot to go. And just like that, the lead has been cut down to 6, and we have a timeout called by Tim Linkus. And just like that, the momentum has switched. I mentioned that Lewsburg come out a little bit downtrodden, but they've kind of opened up their scoring attack here with 4 points in the fourth quarter, and the lead's been cut down to 6. So now it's up to head coach Tim Linkus to make some offensive adjustments. Now we have a cheer started by the women's basketball team, the girls basketball team I should say. They've come back to cheer on their fellow Mustangs. Six minutes and 6 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. 27-21 our score. And so far it's been the Isaac Bean / Noah Karolko / Silas Beckner show here in Beckley. And you've looked and see what the adjustments that Lewsburg has made early. They're really have the pedal on the metal here in transition, getting the ball into the hands of Isaac Bean and letting him sprint down the floor. I will say this, though, he's drawing a lot of contact, and that really does wear you down over the course of the game, but Isaac Bean looks to be in tremendous shape. He's still got a little bit of swagger about him, and the Mustangs have the ball now. They get it into Karolko. The Mustangs go spread for him. Now Harrison Linkus attacking all the way to the rim. That shot rejected by Kyle Thomas, but there's Jason Leach for the follow. Now Lewsburg looks to answer. This is Toothman out of the corner.
Now up top to Parker. Parker steps in. Passes to Rollinson. He drives the baseline. Now Parker spins in the lane, puts up a shot off glass. No good. Rebounded by Jason Leach. Into the hands of Noah Karolko. And they'll slow things down. 5.5 minutes left to play here in the third. Sam Wilson taking his time. Now Silas Beckner out of the high post. Jason Mathis is up off the bench. He's screaming. He wants his team to go apply pressure. Here's Silas Beckner attacking. Now Harrison Lankus gets it inside Karolko. A floater in the lane, yes. Noah Karolko gets in double figures. Jason Mathis is not happy. He calls the timeout, and the Mustangs extend the lead back to 10. Going into the last timeout, everything was going Lewis-Burg's way, but after going into this timeout, the momentum has shifted yet again, and 31-21 is where we stand with just under 5 minutes to be played here in the third quarter. Noah Karolko in double figures now with 10 points. Silas Beckner has 9. Wilson with 4. Harrison Linkus with 4. Jason Leach with 3. David Kelly with 1. So again, a balanced scoring attack. You've got the majority of the load on the shoulders of Karolko and Silas Beckner as they're still running their two-man game. We heard from head coach Tim Linkus in the pregame that he kind of designs his offense around the two of them, and you can see why. But the tertiary players here, and Sam Wilson, Harrison Linkus, and Jason Leach, combining for 11 points. That's what you like to see there. And that's definitely something the Mustangs will need down the stretch. It's going to be Lewis-Burg ball. See what they'll do out of this possession. The Mustangs drop back into their patented 2-3 matchup zone. Here's Rollinson on the left wing, now up top to Parker. You hear head coach Tim Linkus yelling, stay. He wants him to stay inside. Here's Rollinson. He pops a mid-range jump shot. Well, that's what you need to do to draw the Mustangs out of the zone, is hit a couple of shots. And there's one right there via Jagger Rollinson. Here's, Harris was wide open underneath the basket, but Sam Wilson missed him. Now Wilson being harassed by Bean. He gets it. Now a pass to the backside. Jason Leach wide open. Yes. Excellent court awareness by Beckner. He gets it into Wilson. Or Leach, I should say. He's got 5 points. Back to a 10-point lead. Great ball movement here by the Mustangs. Here's Parker. Sends away a 3. It's good. Right down the floor. Dakota Parker answers with 3 points of his own. His first 3 of the game. Here's Wilson. Now to Linkus. Now to Beckner. Working on Thomas. He passes out of it to Karolko. They get it inside. Harrison Linkus on the low block. That shot's no good. It's off the hands of Rollinson. Stepping on the baseline is Dakota Parker. The possession will go back to the Mustangs. Again, a lot of 50-50 plays going the Mustangs' way here early, as Linkus looks to get the ball in, and now he does so to Karolko. Here's Karolko working on Bean, one-on-one. Bean with the hand on his lower body. He gets it into Linkus. Linkus goes to work, puts the shot up. Glass, yes, sir. Harrison Linkus, give him 6. 35-26 now the score. Here's Toothman out of the corner. Now to Parker. He's got the hot hand. He sends away a 3. It's airballed. Here comes Karolko. He's knocked down. The trip's not called. The travel's not called. It has to be something, but nothing is called. Here's Karolko. Still looking to get around Bean. Bean providing excellent defense. Here's Wilson left alone for 3. He's not going to take it. Instead, he'll give it to Harrison Linkus. Now back to Wilson. Now into the high post, Silas Beckner all the way to the rim, pass to Jason Leach. A left-hander in the lane, no good. Pulled down by Rollinson. And now the Mustangs quickly go back to set up their defense before, well, exactly that happens as Parker steps into a mid-range jump shot. The rebound is pulled in by Jason Leach. Karolko's knocked down hard by Bean. Those two are down behind the play. Here's a wraparound pass. Now Silas Beckner, pump fakes, will set up the offense. I like the sportsmanship there. Isaac Bean had knocked down Karolko, and he'd stayed behind the play to help up Karolko, and the two of them rejoin the play. Here's Sam Wilson throwing the ball away. This is Rollinson who comes up with the ball. Now he gets it into the hands of Bean. Bean attacks around one man. Now passes Toothman. Shot off glass, no good. Beckner had his hands on the rebound. Now he strips it away from Thomas. It should stay with Lewisburg, but great decision there by Beckner to deflect that ball out of bounds so Thomas wouldn't have a wide open look at a shot. The Mustangs lead 35-26. 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in the third. Here's a lob pass into Duncan. Now to Bean. He really wants that three. Now he steps into it. That's no good. So if Bean's cold from behind the arc, the Mustangs will give him that shot all day as we have a ball loose in the corner. And the ball will go to the Mustangs. It was deflected out of bounds. I apologize. I was unable to see exactly what transpired there. But out of that scrum, the Mustangs come back with the ball. Just over 2 minutes to be played. They still lead by 9. Here's Wilson taking his time against this defense. Now Karelko attacks. Into the hands of Jason Leach. We'll see what he does on the baseline. He gives it up to Harrison Linkus. Now Harrison Linkus uses the baseline. Wraparound pass. Karelko wide open. 15 feet, no good. Now the pass is tipped by Karelko, but it's recovered by Toothman. Back the other way. Now Silas Beckner deflects that ball, and it's into the hands of Karelko and now swatted back to Duncan. Now Silas Beckner steals the ball again. It's deflected out of bounds, and a foul is called. Duncan and Beckner are knocked down hard to the floor. And that foul is going to go against Alex Duncan, who collided with Beckner. That's his third. And he comes back to the bench as Dakota Parker will check back into the game. And the Mustangs will have possession, up 9 with 1:37 remaining. Here's Karelko. Now to Wilson, and a cross-court pass to Karelko. The they're content to use as much time as necessary. Here's Linkus attacking. He threw a no-look pass, and Tim Linkus was not happy with that decision-making by his young point guard and son. As the ball is thrown out of bounds, it goes back to Lewisburg. Here's Rollinson on the left elbow. And the clock stopped there for a second. That was the reason for the whistle. Well, hold on. They're not going to give. Are they going to give the ball back to Lewisburg here? I guess they'll inbound the ball from the same spot. The clock did not stop. The official blew his whistle a couple of times, but play continued. And the ball goes back to Lewisburg. 1:21 remaining, 35-26 our score. Here's Rollinson up top to Parker, and they work the ball around. Isaac Bean takes Wilson off the dribble. The foul is called. That shot's not going to count. It's going to be on the floor. That's going to go against Jason Leach, so he picks up his third. And now Lewisburg will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. This is Kyle Thomas. It's interesting that he's the one inbounding. He's really their only size, but he gets the ball in. And they get it down to Kyle Thomas. He goes to work, spinning the lane. Nice move by him, but the shot's no good. Rebounded by Karelko, and he'll slow things up for the Mustangs. Excellent decision-making by these Mustangs guards. They're killing as much time as possible. They don't want this Lewisburg offense to get going. Now they work the ball around. All the Mustangs need to do now is play catch. We'll see if they hold all the way to the final shot. 45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Double crossover by Karelko. He gets it into Wilson. Wilson taking his time. Now to Karelko. 35 seconds left on the clock. Now to the corner, Beckner. Inside to Linkus. His shot's blocked out of bounds by Kyle Thomas. We see Kyle Thomas alter a lot of shots and block a few as well. He's a tremendous, lanky, big man for this Lewisburg team. 31 seconds remaining as the ball, I should say, comes inbounded to Karelko. The ball's deflected out of his hands by Bean. It'll stay with the Mustangs. Active hands there by Bean to reach around Karelko and poke the ball free. And 5 more seconds have come off the clock, but it's still the Mustangs' ball. They get it into Beckner. Now to Karelko with a head of steam. Gives it to Harrison Linkus. That shot's rejected by Rollinson, but a foul is called. Rollinson can't believe it. Bean can't believe it. Head coach Jason Mathis can't believe it. That foul's going to go on Rollinson. So Linkus will go back to the free throw line. A chance at 2 shots. And a chance to extend this Mustang lead to at least 10 points. And that first shot no good. Again, the Mustangs, wow, they could convert on some free throw opportunities. This lead could be a lot larger than it is right now. Next shot by Linkus gets the friendly roll. 7 points for him now in the game. 10-point lead for the Mustangs. 16, now 15 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Here's Parker. He dribbles the ball, now gives it to Rollinson. Wide open for three. Rollinson's shot's no good. Bean there for the offensive rebound and the stick back. Now 6 seconds to see if the Mustangs can get the ball down the floor. Linkus now to Karelko. Splits the defenders. Puts the shot up with the left hand. Or the right hand, I should say. Noah Karelko. The Mustangs keep it at 10 points. Bean with a confident offensive rebound and a putback, and Karelko says, anything you can do, I can do better, and he runs down the floor and sticks it home. (38-28) now our score. This game was 25-17 at halftime, meaning the Mustangs outscoring Lewsburg 13-11 in that quarter. They have outscored the Lions in all 3 quarters. I'm sorry, 2 of the 3 quarters in this game. They outscored them by 9 points in the first. They were outscored by Lewsburg a single point in the second, and now they outscored them 13-11 in the third quarter. We mentioned Noah Karelko and Silas Beckner scoring for this team. They've been impressive, but joining them now is with 7 points is Harrison Linkus, who's leaving his mark on this game in the second half, doing a lot of things well. On the flip side, it's still a heavy dosage of Isaac Bean with his 16 points. Rollinson with his 4, Kyle Thomas with 2. And Dakota Parker with 3, Alex Duncan with 3 as well. So the Mustangs enter this fourth quarter 8 minutes away for a potential advancement into the next round. The Mustangs look to win in the first round in back-to-back years in the WVCEA tournament. Here's Bean, now up top to Parker. Coach Linkus trying to get his team to stay into the 2-3 defense. They do, and they get an air ball off the hands of Kyle Thomas, and now they have possession, and now it's time for them to start chewing more clock. Here's Sam Wilson taking his time. Now Silas Beckner drives. He tries the shovel pass. It's taken away, and here comes Bean in transition. You got to stop him. Sam Wilson to contest the shot. It's no good, but the foul is called again. If you're going to foul Bean in transition, you have to make sure that he's not going to get that shot off. And Sam Wilson applied that lower body contact there, but still allowed him to flip up the shot with his opposite hand. And that could have been disastrous for the Mustangs if Isaac Bean hit another and one. He goes to the free throw line. He misses the first. The best he can do now is make this a 3-possession game in favor of the Mustangs. 38 seconds have come off the clock here in the fourth quarter. Bean's next shot is no good. This lead stays at 10. Now Lewsburg struggling to shoot from the free throw line. And back the other way comes Harrison Linkus. He turns the ball over. No, he gets it back. A lucky bounce there, and now they get the ball into the hands of Silas Beckner, and he wisely passes it to Wilson, and they'll run some more time off the clock. Rollinson closes out on Wilson. He passes the ball away. The first minute is ticked off. Only 7 more to go for the Mustangs if they can hold on to this lead. Here's a kick ball. Silas Beckner had Harrison Linkus on the block, and that ball is kicked out of bounds by, I believe, Dakota Parker. Now they get the ball into Karelko. He had the mid-range jumper, but again, he wisely pulled it out, and the Mustangs are going to chew more clock. Cross-court pass. Here's Karelko. Gets it inside. Jason Leach wide open. Turnaround, yes! Jason Leach converts. Give him 7 now. The Mustangs are feeling it, and they're just 7 minutes away from their advancement in the second round. If they can hang on to this 12-point lead as Jason Mathis calls a timeout. Had excellent scoring, a balance of scoring for the Mustangs. Again, Karelko with his 12, Silas Beckner with his 9, Sam Wilson with 4, Harrison Linkus with 7. Now Jason Leach with 7. Excellent court awareness. You saw this Lewsburg team extending their zone a little bit because they needed to pressure the guards, and as a result of that, they drew Kyle Thomas out of the middle. Jason Leach, that's twice this time, he's been wide open underneath the basket, and To my right, if you can hear it over my headset, Jason Mathis is lighting into this Lewsburg team. They trail by 12 points, and they face a potential upset here. Now, back-to-back years, I represented this Mustangs team my sophomore and junior year, almost pulling off upsets in the first round, once as a 6th seed and once as a 7th seed, but we were never successful to hang on to the leads that we had gotten in those games. We lost one year to Pipestem and the other year to Ballard, and it would be almost unprecedented as far as Mustangs go to do what they're on pace to do today, but I do not want to give them the announcer's drink, so I will leave it at that. The Mustangs come back onto the floor, 6:54 remaining in the game. They lead by 12. It's going to be Lewsburg ball. There's a little bit of confusion there as to who is going to have the possession, and now here come the Lions. Here's Toothman out of the left corner, now to Parker. He sends away a 3. That's what you need, and that's what they got. Dakota Parker makes it a 9-point game just like that. You cannot let this Lewsburg team get hot from behind the arc, or this game will shift in the blink of an eye. Here's Sam Wilson. Losing the handle on the ball, now collects it in the far right corner. He's in trouble. He needs to get rid of it. Instead, he drives, and that ball is off the hands of Harrison Linkus, but it's deflected by a Lewsburg player. It stays with the Mustangs. Linkus to inbound the ball. Gets it into Beckner. Beckner taking his time. Now the cross-court pass to Karolko. Karolko dribbles between his legs. He's harassed by Bean. Looking for close to a 5-second call, but now he's stripped of the ball. Here's Bean up ahead of the pack with Harrison Linkus on him. He got it to go. A 12-point lead has been cut to 7. Lewsburg starting to wake up as Tim Linkus is going to call a timeout there. Noah Karolko got a pretty decently sized floor burn there on his shoulder, and he's going to get that taken care of during this timeout. So another minute is ticked off. A 5-0 run now by the Lions, and this lead has been cut down to 7. A lot of that due in part to the transition work of Isaac Bean, but some of that, the Mustang guards, the great confidence that they had been moving the ball around in the first 3 quarters had kind of gone out the window. Sam Wilson looked very shaky there in that possession, and then you had Noah Karolko driving into that double team, and it was stripped of the ball. So the Mustangs will need to make smarter decisions down the stretch if they want to hang on to this lead. The Mustangs break the huddle. Jason Leach, Silas Beckner, Sam Wilson, Harrison Linkus, and Noah Karolko, the 5 on the floor for them. You've got Rollinson, Parker, Thomas, Toothman, and Bean on the floor for Lewsburg. Here's Silas Beckner catching that inbounds pass. Now Harrison Linkus between 2 defenders. He threw the ball away, but luckily the Mustangs came up with a loose ball. Now Linkus, a deflected pass, almost went out of bounds, and the Mustangs again still trying to chew clock. 5.5 minutes left. Harrison Linkus gets it to Beckner. Now in the corner, Karolko. This would be huge. He got it! Noah Karolko sends through the 3. Back to a 10-point game. Here comes Bean. He's looking to answer. He gives it to Toothman in the left corner. Now Parker attacks, picks up his dribble, pass to Rollinson. He's wide open. He answers. Jagger Rollinson sticks home a 3-pointer of his own. This lead stays at 7 for the Mustangs. They get it in low to Jason Leach. He passes to Beckner. Back to Karolko. He's feeling it. He sends the 3. It's an air ball. Rebounded by Kyle Thomas. And now you need to stop if you're the Mustangs to keep this lead where it's at. Here's Parker. He steps into a 3. That's no good. Rebounded by Thomas. His foul is no good, but he draws the foul. A 7-point lead to for the Mustangs could be cut into pending these free throws by Kyle Thomas. He only has 2 points in this game, but he's made his mark mostly on the defensive side today with a tremendous number of blocks as he hits the first free throw. It's down to a 2-possession game. 4:49 remaining. The next free throw is no good. Rebounded by Harrison Lakis. So now we'll see if the Mustangs can answer. Here's Bean trying to trap Lakis in the backcourt. He gives the ball up to Silas Spector. Silas Spector gets it across the time stripe. Now to Noah Karolko as Spector was knocked down hard again. The sportsmanship by Bean to reach over and help him up. Now here comes Harrison Lakis. 4.5 minutes remaining. Lewsburg fans on their feet. A Euro step. Harrison Lakis with the finger roll. A 9 points for Harrison Lakis and an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. 4:19 remaining. Here's Parker back up top to Bean. He pump fakes, gets in the lane, the ball's turned over. Harrison Lakis comes up with the loose ball, and he has numbers the other way. All the way down the floor, he draws the foul. 4:07 remaining. The Mustangs lead by 8 points, and Harrison Lakis is going to the free throw line to potentially increase that lead. Harrison Lakis at the free throw line. Misses the first. Should he hit the second, it would become a full 3-possession game for the Mustangs. Or a full 3-possession lead, I should say. He got it. Ice in his veins there for the second one. And he's in double figures. 46-37 our score. Live from Appalachian Bible College, the 6th seed, Morgantown Christian Academy Mustangs leading the 3 seed, Lewisburg Baptist. Here's a deflected pass, and Silas Spector comes up with the loose ball. 9-point advantage down the floor, but that pass is intercepted by Parker. That's brutal, but Parker attacks the other way. He steps into a 3 now, changes it to a pass. They've got Rowlandson wide open for 3. He sends it away. That shot's no good. The rebound's pulled in by Silas Spector, and a foul is called. Rowlandson is furious, and they just teed him up. Yager Rowlandson upset with that call. Two quick fouls on him. We get an explanation from the official here. Yeah, technical was on Yager Rowlandson. 2 quick fouls for him. He now has 4. You got to keep your head in those situations as he turned around and got in the face of the official, and he was livid. He's still livid right now, and Lewisburg assistant coach is calming him down, and he's going to have to come out of the game. Shooting the technical free throws for the Mustangs will be Silas Beckner. He could increase this lead back to 10 points, and the Mustangs will get the ball because of the technical. And the first shot is missed. Silas Beckner has 9 points in the contest. He's scoreless in the second half. And he misses the second. Lewisburg fans respond with a cheer of joy, but the Mustangs have possession of the ball. With 3:42 remaining here in the fourth. And again, they lead by 9. The ball is inbounded into the backcourt. Harrison Linkus will bring the ball across the time stripe. And he threw the ball out of bounds. Harrison Linkus, another no-look pass by him, and he turned the ball over. That's not what you need now if you're the Mustangs. You just need to chew clock, and hopefully the decision-making will shore up here for Linkus down the stretch. Here's Rowlandson on the right side. Now Parker back up top. Now Bean wide open for 3. No good. The rebound is loose on the floor. Bean recovers it, and a foul is called. They're going to call that foul on Jason Leach. That should be his 4th, so a Mustang player in foul trouble. I mean, well, now the book to my left is going to say that's the 5th foul on Jason Leach. I apologize. I must have missed one. So Jason Leach, the only true center on the roster, has fouled out of the game. He finishes the game with 7 points as David Kelly will come in for him. So it'll be interesting to see if Lewisburg goes inside to Kyle Thomas now that Leach is out of the ball game. Here's Bean shooting the free throws. He gets the first. Isaac Bean, 19 points to his credit. He had 10 in the first half. He's got 9 in the second. Down to an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. Second shot good. 20 points now for Isaac Bean. 20 of Lewis-Burg's 39. Back the other way, here come the Mustangs. Harrison Linkus into the corner, Silas Beckner. Now cross court, Karelko, he drives, now kicks to Wilson. Wilson pump fakes, gets it into David Kelly, who threw the ball away. A 7-point lead for the Mustangs could be cut short. Here comes Bean in transition. He picks up his dribble, now passes to Toothman, wide open for three. That shot no good, rebounded by the Mustangs. No, Karelko bumped into David Kelly there, but now he's advancing the ball up the floor all the way to the rim. He's fouled. Noah Karelko, a veteran move by him, the sophomore guard, to get to the rim and draw the foul. And now Dakota Parker is livid with the official. He went after an official, and that was close to a technical there as well, but it is not called. 7 points, the Mustangs' advantage. Noah Karelko, the leading scorer for the Mustangs, with 15. He misses the first. Again, free throw shooting becoming a problem for the Mustangs. It would be crucial to get one of these Karelko free throws here. And he gets the second. Here comes Bean quickly down the floor, under 3 minutes to play. Lewsburg's running out of time, and Bean gets all the way to the rim and draws the foul. He put a knee into the chest of David Kelly, who's most likely the one who fouled him. It is, and David Kelly absorbed all of that contact there. And he was a little slow to get up. Now Bean will shoot some free throws of his own, where he struggled from the line as well. $20 points for Bean in the game. And he misses the first. The lead stays at 8. 2:44 remaining here. And the second shot is up and in. Again, we are live from Appalachian Bible College. The Mustangs facing down a potential upset of the 3-seeded Lewisburg Lions. All they need to do is hang on to the lead here as we have a foul call. They outletted the ball up ahead to David Kelly. Dakota Parker reached in there and trying to get the jump ball, but instead they'll call the foul. We should be shooting a 1-and-1 now, so kind of an odd decision by Parker to try to close out and apply that pressure on David Kelly, because Kelly's going to get 2 free throws. And Kelly misses the first. And back the other way comes Bean. They're going to have to cut him off. Sam Wilson's underneath the basket. Bean reverse layup, scores it. 47-42 now our score. The Mustangs lead by 5, and we've got 2.5 minutes to be played here. Tim Lakis is screaming he wants a timeout. They couldn't hear him over the roar of the crowd. 2:22 remaining, 47-42 is where we stand. As here's head coach Jason Maffin coming over to the bench. He's trying to assess his foul trouble for both teams to see potentially who he could attack on the offensive side of the floor and who he needs to protect on the defensive side of the floor. We saw a matchup, a marquee matchup between two high-scoring point guards the last time these two teams played. Isaac Bean finished with 23. Noah Karelko finishes with 15. You look at how the game is right now. Isaac Bean has 23 points in the game, and Noah Karelko has 16. So an extremely talented duel being played out in front of us here at Appalachian Bible College. The Mustangs will have possession with 2:20 remaining and a 5-point lead. They get the ball into Harrison Lakers. We'll look to see what Lewisburg will do here defensively. Isaac Bean putting ball pressure on Harrison Lakers. He knocked the ball away. It's loose. Kyle Thomas comes up with it. He attacks the other way on Karelko. Gets to the rim and gets the shot. Kyle Thomas has made it a one-possession game, and back the other way come the Mustangs. The momentum is shift. Bean knocks down Karelko hard to the floor, and they get the foul called. Karelko will go back to the free throw line, and he's slow to get up. Smart decision by Karelko to catch Lewsburg kind of napping there, their transition defense. He ran down the floor and drew the foul, but now you've got to hit your free throws if you're Noah Karelko. Even just one of these would make it a 2-possession game. That's almost deflected or stolen away. Now here's Silas Beckner in the corner. 1:16 remaining. The Mustangs lead by 3. And now we have a timeout called by Tim Lakis. A very wise timeout there called by the head coach. Silas Beckner was double teamed in the corner. He really didn't have anywhere to pass the ball, so the Mustangs still have possession, and they have a 3-point lead that they will try to hang on to with 1:12 remaining. Now you're getting to the point in the game, if you're head coach Jason Mathis, you try to figure out potentially who you're going to foul in the situation. Now 1 minute and 12 seconds is more than enough time to create pressure, and Lewsburg has done a great job of doing that. So first we'll look to see if they'll trap and who they'll key in on to try to take advantage of for the Mustangs. But once this possession gets long enough, we'll see who they decide to foul. I thank you all for joining us here on the Mustang Sports Network. We are live from Appalachian Bible College, and this has been a fantastic matchup. The Mustangs on upset alert, the 6th seed, leading the Lewisburg Baptist Lions by 3 points as both teams break the huddle. I encourage you all listening around on YouTube to join in wherever you are and get behind this Mustangs team. They have the ball and they have the lead, but they have 1 minute and 12 seconds to kill. They get it in. Harrison Lakis puts a shot off glass. Back to a 2-possession lead. Harrison Lakis sticks it home. And now you've got to score quickly if you're Lewisburg. Here's Parker into the front court. They'll look for a good shot. Parker up top. Now swung around to Bean. Wide open for 3. He puts it in. Isaac Bean, ice in his veins. And a timeout called by Jason Mathis. A crazy sequence of events. Harrison Lakis left wide open on the inbounds pass, stuck it home to extend the lead to 5, but Isaac Bean, the clutch three-pointer on the other end of the floor to keep it at a 1-possession game. And we're almost back to where we started. The Mustangs have the ball, just under a minute to play. 49-47 is the score. And for those of you joining us, I think we all agree we have been treated to an excellent matchup regardless of the outcome of this game. Both of these teams have played tremendously well. The ball movement has been great. The shooting has been great. The on-ball pressure has been great. It's really been a fantastic game to watch, a fantastic game to commentate. But now it's time to see how it finally turns out. The Mustangs come out of the huddle, being cheered on by their crowd. Lewisburg breaks the huddle, being cheered on by their much larger crowd. Lewisburg will not set up pressure in the backcourt, so the Mustangs will be able to get the ball across the time stripe. And Karelko does so. He goes down the lane. He puts up a shot with the left hand. He is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Karelko is very slow to get up. Holding his midsection, his abdomen. He's been hit there a couple of times in the game, but he's missed some very clutch three-throw opportunities in this game, but none of them are more clutch than the one he's about to shoot right now. Karelko, the sophomore point guard, misses the first. Two-point lead for the Mustangs, 47.6 seconds remaining. Karelko, nothing but net. 3-point lead now, 47 seconds remaining. Here's Bean racing down the floor. Stumbles for a second, but then picks up his dribble. They'll get into the offense. Here's Parker inside, they threw the ball away. David Kelly gets it into the hands of Harrison Lakis. He gets the ball across midfloor. He gets it into Sam Wilson. It's through his hands. A turnover. All the Mustangs needed to do was pull the ball up and set up the offense, but instead they give the ball right back to Lewisburg. Lewisburg trails by 3. They have the ball, 30 seconds remaining. Bean goes to the rim and draws the foul. 4 Mustang players were there on that play. He split the first 2, collided with the second 2, and now he'll go to the free throw line to see if he can hit these clutch free throws. Isaac Bean with 26 points in the game. You hear head coach Tim Lakis screaming from the sidelines to his bigs down low on the block, I need this rebound. Big shots now for Bean. Misses the first. Next shot up, no good, rebounded by Noah Karolko, and now they're going to have to foul. 23 seconds remaining as Noah Karolko goes all the way down the floor. That shot's not going to count, but again, Noah Karolko goes back to the free throw line, and if you're just about any coach in the country, you breathe a sigh of relief, but not if you're Tim Lakis, because unfortunately, Noah Karolko has really struggled from the free throw line. But you have to come into these free throws with the mindset that you don't need them both, you just need one to make it a two-possession game. 21 seconds separate the Mustangs from a potential upset as Noah Karolko hits the first free throw. They're going crazy over there in the Morgantown fan section. And Karolko hits the second. 5 points now, the advantage for the Mustangs. Lewsburg looking to score quickly. The Mustangs applying some token half-court pressure. Here comes Parker into the front court, into the hands of Bean. He steps back. They're running out of time. 10 seconds. Toothman fires up a three. He got it. The clock's going to run. They get it in. Silas Spector's immediately fouled. Knocked down hard by Rollinson. Tim Lakis runs down the floor. He wants the intentional foul as the players get up in the show. Good sportsmanship. Rollinson apologizes and said, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. He just needed to foul you. That was an incredibly clutch shot hit there by Logan Toothman to make it a 2-point game. So 5 points on 5 seconds remain. If Silas Beckner can hit both of these free throws, that should all but seal it. But if he were to miss one and or both, the door is wide open for this Lewsburg team. Silas Beckner at the free throw line. He's got 9 points. All of those came in the first half. He has yet to score in the second half, and he's missed his fair share of free throws in the second half as well. But clutch time for the second leading Mustang scorer. He got the first. 10 points for Beckner, 53 for the Mustangs. They lead by 3. This game could be all but sealed if he makes the second. Beckner. Yes, sir! Silas Beckner, 4-point lead. And now we have, I'm not 100% sure what the call was there, as Tim Lakis is congratulating his guys. The officials are going to congregate. They've pointed up a finger. Okay, Tim Lakis took the time out there, I think is what the call was. I think they're going to put time back on the clock. 3.4 seconds is what it shows right now. It also shows a 4-point lead for the Mustangs, so there's really not a lot you can do now. If you're Lewsburg, 5.5 is what they're going to put back on the clock. You have to get the ball down floor as quickly as possible and then foul immediately. It's almost impossible, but again, the possibility still exists if you're the Mustangs. The one thing you cannot do in this situation is foul a guy who's attempting to shoot a 3-point shot. The best thing you can do is take away the lob pass, force Lewsburg to inbound the ball into their backcourt, force them to run up. And another thing to keep in mind, Jason Mathis, I don't believe, has any timeouts left. If a shot goes through with less than 5 seconds, the only thing the Mustangs have to do is hold on to the ball out of bounds. They don't even need to get the ball in. So again, this game all but over unless you foul a 3-point shooter. And hopefully that's not what the Mustangs do here. Kyle Thomas to inbound this ball for Lewsburg. They get it into Bean. Bean looking to score quickly. He's also looking to draw the foul. He gets the ball. He takes the 3. He tries for contact. The shot's no good. The Mustangs advance. They pull off the upset in the first round. The 6th-seeded Morgantown Christian Academy Mustangs defeating Lewsburg Baptist, the 3 seed, and they will play for their postseason hopes tomorrow. My goodness, what an incredible game. You see the Mustang fans going crazy, and you see a great sportsmanship by both of these teams, both playing tremendously well on both ends of the floor, treating the fans to an exceptional show. My goodness. The Mustangs, who graduated 5 seniors from a season ago, going all the way to the state championship A lot of people had them written off for this season, saying it was a rebuilding year, but here they are. They've advanced, and they've made it to the second day in Beckley. Noah Karolko, the leading scorer for the Mustangs. He finishes with 19. Silas Beckner finishes with 10. Sam Wilson finishes with 4. 12 for Harrison Linkus, 7 for Jason Leach, and a free throw for David Kelly. And, of course, on the other side, you have Isaac Bean with his 26 points. But my goodness, what an impressive performance by this Mustangs team. As again, you see excellent sportsmanship as some of the players congregate at midcourt to close this game in prayer. If you're looking for your player of the game, without question is point guard Noah Karolko, the sophomore. Of course, he struggled a bit from the free throw line, but every other aspect of his game was impeccable. His defense was fantastic. He got to the rim. He hit a clutch 3 for this team, and he hit those free throws down the stretch when it mattered the most. Now you see a resounding cheer by these Mustang fans. They love their team here, and I'm sure the folks at home love what they're seeing today. And just like that, the Mustangs move on to tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for us here. Again, a tremendous showing by this Mustangs team. And once again, your final score, 54-50. For our executive producer, Christopher Knotts, our producer-engineer, Jessica Toothman, I'm Luke Wiggs saying good night from Appalachian Bible College.